Well, again, it's Wing Nation presented by Sage Fruit, talking sprint car racing, our favorite time of the week. We are so glad that you have joined us. Steve Post in the Hercules Tire Studios. Joining us from the Lethal Chassis Studios in the great state of Pennsylvania is Ashley Stremme. Hello, Ashley. How are you?
I am fabulous, obviously. World of Outlaws at Port Royal Speedway made my heart happy all weekend.
I bet so. I was just going to say, how could you not be fabulous when the whole world was in your hometown? That is for sure. And we saw some great racing. We saw Kerry Madsen pick up the win on Friday night. And how about Spencer Baston, the win on Saturday night? And just a lot unfolded at Port Royal, as always is the case when the Outlaws roll into Pennsylvania.
It's true. Lance tried to give Kerry a run for his money there on that last lap right at the flag stand. But of course, Spencer Baston, people were already asking him, are we calling him Posse? Are we calling him World of Outlaws? So we've already got that business started. But it was cool to see Spencer in victory lane.
Really was. Really cool with his new deal. We'll talk about that a little bit later on. Kerry Madsen, we hadn't seen him. We kind of wondered what happened with the 14 car and with Kerry. And he comes right out of the box and just blows the door. Well, he didn't blow the doors off everybody, but winning a World of Outlaw race, I think it was the closest margin of the season. So Kerry Madsen is indeed alive and well with that Tony Stewart car. So fascinating stuff it really is. And the World of Outlaws versus the Pennsylvania Posse. And Ashley, that rivalry is just as strong as ever, but the World of Outlaws right now, they seem to have a little bit of an upper hand, unfortunately, for all the Posse folks.
And you know what? Rightfully so. They should. They travel the country.
Right.
They race 96 whatever races a year. So if they aren't the best in the business, then they shouldn't be coming to town. But it's good to see that our guys can run with them.
No doubt about it. Oh, no doubt. You're absolutely right. It really is. It's fascinating stuff. And there's some good teams up there in the Keystone State doing good things as well. Good teams all over the country, including over in the state of Ohio. The Flow Racing All-Star Circuit of Champions, they had the Jim and Joanne Ford Classic. It was the season finale for the All-Stars. Cole Macedo, speaking of young talent, on the rise, working his way through lap traffic. Here's Brian Liskey with the call on Flow Racing.
And now for the Dryden death-defying move of the week, where one driver simply amazes us with their on-track moves.
Cole Macedo now with two lap cars. He splits them out of turn two. What a move for Cole Macedo. That may be the winning move out of turn two, splitting the two lap cars as we come down the 4 laps to go.
That death-defying move was brought to you by Dryden Diesel All Deaf, the official deaf of the World of Outlaws and wheelmen everywhere. Visit Dryden.com for more information.
Pride, passion,
performance.
We are
Team Dryden.
Wing Nation, presented by Sage Fruit, continues on. Let's go to the Hercules Tire Hotline. Joining us from the great state of California, Tim Kaeding is on the line. TK, how are you?
Good. How are you, Steve and Ashley? Hope you guys are doing good in your parts of the world.
We are fantastic, that's for sure. Looks like you're doing all right out in California. Looking at the King of the West Series, you have a couple of wins. I think you're 4th in the points standings. Just kind of, first off, assess how the season has been for you at this point out there on California.
It's been up and down. We've had some good runs, had some bad runs. I think we've kind of got our stuff back where we need to. We destroyed 2 cars there in a couple race stretch, so it wasn't by choice. And had a steering box break one night and climbed a wheel the next night. So 2 pretty good hits. But we got a great team with the Bates Hamilton 42X car, and we came back and got ourselves back up into, I think, hopefully second in points after the last couple weekends that we've ran.
TK, you talk about that 42X, and anyone who knows Tim, you're kind of a fly by the seat of your pants, and that's what I absolutely love about you is you never know what direction you're going, but you'll take what you get and you'll run with it. You have been in several cars over the last year. Jason Sides, the 42X, you've been in Tony Stewart's car. How cool is it that you know that you have all these opportunities to jump in these race cars And how crazy is it to try to build a schedule knowing that you've got guys calling to get you in their race car?
It's awesome. I mean, being this is my 25th year racing sprint cars. So, to be able to get calls from, guys from the Midwest, Tony Stewart's race team, and my 42 car, Dave Lunstra, everybody that I've been able to associate with, we've created a friendship, outside and away from the racetrack, and I've known them previously before working with them. So, to be able to work with the TSR guys and them and seeing how their organization runs, it kind of bleeds off. I can take that knowledge that I've learned from them and take it to, Dave Lunstra, the 42X car, and try to make our programs better all the way through. And, it says something that, you're still, being 43 years old in this sport, it's a young guys sport, and a lot of kids coming up in this sport, but to be able to get calls still is absolutely amazing. It's hard to fathom sometimes, just because I've kind of taken a step back away from the racing to stay home and be home with my son more.
Well, you talk about that, and when you look at it in the state of sprint car racing in California, this 42X car, the Bates Hamilton, the ABC company's car, this seems to have fit your niche pretty well. How did this come together a few years ago? And kind of tell me about your team out there in California.
It was kind of didn't really have anything going, and wasn't pursuing a lot after Dave and I shut down the 3-car team in South Dakota for a couple years. And just came home and wanted to be with my son more. And, he was littler and wasn't doing much, but, now it's, that team we went from a 360 team and, kind of converted the last couple years with Josh and Roger with the R&B company and Tykert Construction, everybody that sponsors and helps us right now. We've made the transition to the 410 aspect of California racing because we want to support the 410s. We don't get the car count like we used to out here with the 410 stuff, and the 360 stuff is kind of in the same boat at times, but with Peter Murphy doing what he's doing, King of the West, I'm hoping we revive the 410s in California to be able to have a lot more of these kids come up and be able to compete at the top level of racing.
Well, you talk about Peter Murphy, and we've talked about him a lot this year and what he's trying to do there in California. But in 2 weeks, we have the Trophy Cup, which is probably one of the largest races, I think, in California for the year, because there's already 107 entries. An absolutely incredible race. What would it mean for you to etch your name into the winners list for a 4th time there?
It'd be amazing. I mean, it's been a few years since we've been or had any luck at Trophy Cup. We've had one bad night, and that tends to hurt your entire week. But to be able to put our name, as a 4-time winner of this race, would be amazing. The Kaeding family, we've been associated with it, from the start. My dad, I remember when they ran it the first year at San Jose Speedway, and they did a dinner to raise money for St. Jude's, as they do. And it was, like a spaghetti dinner where the drivers actually served fans, dinner, and, we interacted with fans that way, and, wore our driver suits and stuff like that to what it has become now. And they donate a great amount of money. Dave does a Christmas drive-through where they donate money for, St. Jude's, and that goes into it. So it's an awesome opportunity. It'd be great to win it again, but like I said, we have a lot of great competition. You got the robot Dominic Selzy, who doesn't skip a beat. That team's great right now. Shane Golobic, my brother, Kyle Hurst. You have a lot of these cars and kids, racers that are right there that will give you a run for your money every night at that track.
No doubt they will, but you will as well. We're going to continue talking a little bit more about the Trophy Cup and some other things as well. TK, hang in there with us. Everyone, stick around. More with Tim Kaeding in just a moment.
Hey, Ashley, what are you up to?
Oh, I just stopped by to grab some sage fruit apples. Now I just have to decide which ones.
You can never go wrong with a Honey Crisp. They're light, crisp, and full of perfectly balanced flavor.
Oh, hey.
You could always go with one of their classics, the Gala or Fuji. They're both sweet and juicy.
Grown in the heart of Eastern Washington, Sage Fruit Company works hard on the farm and with their retail partners to provide high-quality apples and pears to consumers all year long.
Well, I couldn't decide which ones. Thanks for the help, guys.
I'll race you to checkout.
Wing Nation continues on. We are talking on the Hercules Tire Hotline to Tim Kaeding, TK from out in California. Talk a little bit about the Trophy Cup, and I do want to double back to that. But TK, one of the other things that I know you talk about frequently on Wing Nation, I actually discovered your mother's Facebook page, okay?
Oh, no.
Yes, exactly. But what the question for this is we've talked a lot about your son and your fatherhood of him and what a great dad you are and what a great relationship you two have. But then when I watch and see it from your mother's perspective, dude, it has got to be just fun to go to the racetracks with your son and your mom there as well, kind of babysitting, taking pictures and helping out. That's got to be a neat time for you.
Yeah, it is. I mean, we all know, growing up in racing, we're one big family. You may be the most competitive person on the racetrack and have issues with somebody on the racetrack. And afterwards your kids are playing and interacting with each other, and it's awesome. And, with my mom to be able to be there, my dad's there most of the time, and everybody just kind of, keeps an eye on him and helps out. And, his mom and everybody that's there helping and interacting, my son just brings he's a chip off his dad's block for sure, because he is a comedian throughout the night and, goofs off and, definitely fits in with the racing crowd. I can tell you that much for sure.
It's so true. The apple does not fall far from the tree. I had the pleasure of meeting your son Tannen there at Jackson, and he's obviously gaining more personality. TK, how much is he going to give you a run for his money as he continues to grow up?
Put it this way, I hope I'm done racing by the time he gets into anything that I'm driving at that point in time. So, everything with him is a race. It's, from cleaning the bedroom to just getting in the car to go somewhere. I mean, he is just like me. He wants to win all the time, and he's very competitive when it comes to not being able to do anything. But, he definitely keeps me on my toes. I just wish I could tap an adrenaline gland from him and turn it into an energy drink and make some money off of it. But I know that's illegal, so I can't.
There you go. I kind of like, as someone who had kids that were a little wide open, not TK's son, not his wide open, but still wide open.
Yeah.
I know what you're saying. That is for sure. I want to get back a little bit more to the Trophy Cup. You talked about possibly getting, if we can win it again, your fourth, and bring it back, actually. If you win your fourth Trophy Cup, you're to tie a guy named Brent Kaeding, your dad. The Kaeding legacy, the Kaeding family with Trophy Cup and everything out there, that would be a neat moment for you to be able to tie the old man out there.
Yeah, it'd be amazing. I mean, when he did it, it was when, you had Steve Kent, Ronnie Day, my brother, and myself, and a lot of, guys that were at the top of their game at that point in time came out and tried to do what my dad's been able to do in California with Trophy Cup and everything around it. And it's hard. I mean, I know, like Terry McCarroll's been here a lot, and, he struggles at Tulare a lot. Everybody has their quirks with Tulare and the way Trophy Cup goes, but with the way they wanted that show, they wanted a show. They wanted the show fully inverted, and the fastest guy, the highest guy all weekend starts at the back and has to put a show on, and that's what Dave Pusateri wanted that race to be. And and he's gotten it for 26, 27 years now that the race has been on, and it's been amazing to be a part of it.
But Tim, you mentioned early the Dominic Selzies, the younger kids that are coming in and still making this sport as strong as it is. I'm sure it was tough back then, but it's still not easy today to race against these guys and put on a show like it is, and trying to culminate what you need to be there at the very end for a Trophy Cup win.
Yeah, and that's the thing, is you have to have, 2 good consistent nights of getting points to be able to put yourself in contention for that, for that main night, for that last night. And that's the biggest thing is, Dominic has proven this year, all year round, that, he is a contender in California now. I mean, him and Jimmy Carr have that 41 car rolling in the right directions, and everybody else has had to step up their program to be able to compete and stay in touch with those guys. So if we can keep Dominic back a little bit for a couple nights, you might see some potentially new guys coming up and putting a show on for the fans at Trophy Cup. But everything's so close, it's hard to understand or see how you can do what they want you to do at Trophy Cup, and that's go from the back and try to win it all the way through.
Just pass cars. That's all you have to do on the Trophy Cup. Just
Exactly.
pass the car in front of you. That's for sure. TK, we've talked a little bit about the on track, but and you actually mentioned the dinner that used to be where the drivers would dress up in their fire suits and suit people. My understanding is the Trophy Cup, there's a little off track activity scheduled, some scheduled and some not scheduled for the weekend ahead.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the unscheduled stuff is, the fun aspect, but, I think they do a spaghetti feed the first night, a taco feed the next night, and a lot of the proceeds, I think all of the proceeds go to St. Jude's. They do a raffle, and they used to have a cow patty game where they did or cow patty bingo, where they drew a bunch of squares in a pen and let a cow go in there and do its thing, and that person would win, X amount of dollars, like a football square. But that was, I don't know if they're still doing that or not. I think that was the funnest part of it. You sit there and wait and see when a cow's actually gonna do his thing on a square.
Go to my square. Oh my God. That is awesome. Well, that is fun stuff. It really is. Well, TK, we wish you the best at the Trophy Cup and really on through the balance of the season. The King of the West series has been so much fun to watch, and you guys got a few races left there and the Trophy Cup. We wish you the best. We appreciate the time, and thanks for joining us here on Wing Nation.
Thank you, and hopefully we'll see you guys soon, and you guys have a good week, Stephen Ashley.
There we go. Always great to talk with Tim Kaeding. Stay with us. Our Tweet Your Seat Tweet of the Week and a lap around the sprint car world are coming up.
Power isn't born. It's built over time. For over 65 years, Hercules Tires has been providing the muscle to move more drivers. Whatever the vehicle, whatever the terrain, and we back it with a powerful protection plan. So wherever the road or the trail takes you, we have the selection, value, and strength to get you there. Hercules Tires. Ride on our strength.
We're back. You're watching Wing Nation presented by Sage Fruit, and it is time for the Tweet Your Seat Tweet of the Week. This tweet comes from Craig. No words, just a picture, and sometimes that's all you need. It is this sunset at Fremont Speedway overlooking the Sandusky County Fairgrounds. Awesome weekend. Of course, the All-Star Circuit of Champions crowned their champion this week, and it was none other than, how fitting, Sunshine Tyler Courtney.
Sunshine, sunset. We appreciate Craig with that picture. Keep those tweets coming in every week. Let's take a lap around the sprint car world, and we talked about this just a little bit at the top of the show. Spencer Baston picked up the win for CJB Motorsports. Of course, Chad and Jen Clemens, they've owned this team since 2005. Barry Jackson's been the team manager over there. And boy, at one point, remember 2016 to 2018, they had 32 wins with David Gravel. Their last win was with the World of Outlaws 2018 with Shane Stewart at Nashville, but been a bit of a struggle since then for the CJB team.
Yeah, we had Brent Marks, and then obviously Paul McMahon was injured there at Knoxville. So this is looking really strong and promising with Spencer Basin. Only the 4th time out, and they pick up a win with the World of Outlaws. I can't say I'm surprised because it's kind of Barry's home track there at Port Royal, but it will be interesting to see how that 5 team ends up on the World of Outlaws for next year.
Yeah, I talked to Barry Jackson about that some, and he says we just need to put our plan in place and get this team pointed in the right direction. And I'd say they're off to a good start. This trial run, and then Spencer's going to be in the car for 2 years coming forward. So they're off to a really good start, and we certainly wish Spencer and the CJB team all the best. That's turn number 1. Let's go to turn number 2. Memphis. Such a rich sprint car history there. Sammy and Jeff Swindell, Greg Hodnett, Hooker and Ricky Hood, Jason Sides, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., and it continues on. And now it's the hotbed of 360 racing with tracks like Riverside and I-30. And this past weekend, Ashley, they had the Flip Flop 50, which is always a fun event at Riverside.
It's so unique. It's 25 lap races, twin 25s, I should say. An inversion between the 2 races happen. So it's absolutely incredible that your leader goes to the tail and you start all over again. But Derek Hager and Marshall Skinner were your winners of those 2. Hager won his first race, 22nd to 3rd in the 2nd race. So he was coming, no doubt about it.
No doubt about it. And when we talk about the rich history of sprint cars in Memphis, we talked about the names from the past. Derek Hagar, Marshall Skinner, that is the present of sprint car racing. I just love that those 2 won the 2 stages of the Flip Flop 50. Let's go down the backstretch into turn number 3. We talked a little bit about this with TK. It's the 27th annual Trophy Cup next week at Thunderbolt Raceway in Tulare, the richest 360 sprint car race in the world with $200,000 in total purse. Ashley, we talked about the format. Passing means everything with the invert. There's a lot going on out at Tulare this weekend.
Yes, don't forget hot dog night, fiesta night, so much more. The charity, they've raised almost over $2.1 million for the Make-A-Wish Foundation. I know 2 years ago it was a $200,000 check alone. And I believe if you go to their website, you too can donate to Make-A-Wish.
Yes, indeed. Great stuff, that's for sure. Turn number 4, the IRA. They have wrapped up their season. Jake Blackhurst, the champion. It was a neat season for the IRA bumper-to-bumper sprints 2021. Bill Baylog, the 10-time champ, was gone. 27 races, 11 different winners. Jake Blackhurst, the second time he picks up the champion. He was a 3-time winner, and Jake's going to be part of something we're going to do during the off-season here on Wing Nation. Dryden Salute to Champions, where we're going to talk to some of the series champions, and we look forward to that during our off-season on our social media channels. And there you have it. A lap around the sprint car world. Stay with us. More Wing Nation in just a moment.
I'm not ready yet. Come on. All right, I'm ready now.
Hey, Ashley, what are you up to?
I just stopped by to pick up my sage fruit apples. Now I just have to decide which ones.
Yeah, okay.
This is what it looks like when you do it.
Ta-da!
Take a deep breath, count to 5. It's like running across a rhythm section at a motocross track.
Mine was perfect.
Wing Nation, presented by Sage Fruit. I'm in the Hercules Tire Studios. Ashley is in the Lethal Chassis Studios up in Pennsylvania. And Ashley, a rare weekend off for the World of Outlaws this weekend. I'm not even sure what we're going to do with that. And they're starting to close in on all dirt roads lead to Charlotte. It won't be long, and everyone will be headed to our home area down here, at least our Wing Nation home area, that's for sure.
Yes, I'm excited. We'll be down the weekend before for the World Short Track Championships, racing our modified, and then, of course, the NGK, NOS Energy Drink, Sprint Cars, the World of Outlaws. We're going to have a show Friday and Saturday from 2 to 3, me and Aaron Evernham. You got to make sure to check it out. But I'm excited to be back in Charlotte, even if it does mean the end of the season.
That is a 10-day festival of speed with the Short Track Nationals. And then Cherokee Speedway has a Tuesday night race with the 410s, with the big block modifieds, and with the late models. Millbridge Speedway has 2 nights of racing on Tuesday and Wednesday. And right back at the dirt track, make sure you catch those Wing Nation shows. It is going to be awesome for sure. It's the World Finals coming up. We appreciate Tim Kaeding joining us here on Wing Nation. More important than all of that, though, thank you for joining us here this week on the show.